New York Rangers prospect Matthew Rempe has had a pretty interesting start to his NHL career, having 3 fights. You could kind of say 4 or 3.5 with that Siegenthaler one after he hit Nathan Bastian, but it wasn't really a full fight. Siegenthaler did kind of turtle right away, so I wouldn't necessarily call it kind of a full fight, but it is what it is. You could say 3.5 fights for Matthew Rempe in only 5 career NHL games played so far. That is quite a lot. So in this video, we're going to kind of take a look at just kind of Matthew Rempe as a prospect, because he is more than just a fighter. So we're going to kind of take a look at what he's done at the NHL level so far, what he's done at the AHL level, because he has had, so far this year, he played all the way up in the AHL up until he got called up. Last year, played quite a bit in the AHL, had a full season there, as well as his previous years back in the WHL when he was with the Seattle Thunderbirds. But taking a look here at what Matt has done at the NHL level so far this season, he has 5 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. He's a +2. He's got 32 penalty minutes, which is obviously quite a bit. He does have a game-winning goal as well, though, which is obviously nice to see. He got the game-winning goal there against the Flyers, so that was pretty cool to see. His first career goal was a game-winning goal against a division rival. May not have been the prettiest goal in the world, kind of like he said in his post-game interview, but still, it was a goal. It went in the back of the net, and it was a game winner, which was very important for the Rangers there to tie a franchise record of 10 wins in a row, which was pretty cool to see. So good for Matt there, but he does have 4 minutes on average time on ice per game, so not a whole lot, obviously. He did get kicked out of 1 game there, so that kind of did bring things down a bit, I'm sure. But overall, he's been a solid player. I mean, it's not like he's some elite player, and he's never going to be an elite player at the NHL level, I don't think. I mean, it's just not going to happen. He does not have that kind of offensive skill set, but he can be a pretty solid kind of bottom 6, 4th line kind of guy. Maybe be a good kind of 3rd liner here and there as well, potentially. But I think for the most part, definitely can have a pretty good kind of NHL career on that 4th line, not just being a fighter, because he is more than that. He's not just some guy who has no skill at all, has no playmaking ability, can't create scoring chances for anyone or himself either. He can do more than that. He's a pretty good skater for his size. I mean, he's pretty quick out there, as you can see if you watch some of the games. He's not a bad, all-around player. It's not like he's some liability out there defensively either. So there is a reason to think that this guy can be a pretty good, solid NHLer. I'm not saying he's going to be some, top 6 forward where he's putting up 40, 50-plus points per season, but being a guy who can put up, 20, maybe 25, 30 points kind of thing, probably not going to get a whole lot more than that. But if he does play a full season in there, here and there, he definitely can be a decent kind of 4th-line guy, I think, at the NHL level, while bringing some great physicality and overall toughness that teams still do kind of want and need at the NHL level, especially come playoff time. Having a guy like this in your 4th line who can, fight the heavyweights. He can fight anyone out there on the ice. He can lay the body. He can play that overall good, tough, and physical game, but also, not be a liability defensively. He's a decent skater for a guy who's 6'7", so he can kind of move up there pretty well. And he also can contribute here and there as well offensively. He's not going to put up, crazy offensive numbers, kind of like I talked about earlier, but a goal in the back of the net here and there as well. He can get an assist. I mean, he's not just some liability in the offensive or defensive zone. He's a pretty solid kind of all-around player. Not a great all-around player, but a pretty solid one, while also having that great physical game and toughness. Can definitely be a pretty good asset for a team, especially come playoff time. So having a guy like this out there on the ice is definitely not a bad thing at all for the Rangers on their 4th line. Matt was also drafted back in the 2020 NHL draft in the 6th round with pick number 165, so not a bad pick at all by the Rangers. He's still only 21 years old, turning 22 in June. He's, a center and a winger, so can play a bit of both there. From Calgary, Alberta, right-handed shot, 6'7", like 240 pounds. He's obviously a pretty big guy, and definitely has been a pretty solid player for the Rangers, and has been a pretty solid contributor at the AHL and junior level as well. So let's take a look at those offensive numbers now in this video, starting off here in the AHL, what he's done so far this season before he got called up to the Rangers. He had, with the Hartford Wolfpack, 43 games played, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 points, 96 penalty minutes, and is a -9. So obviously not the best numbers overall, 8 goals and 43 games played, 4 assists, 12 points. Not the best numbers at all, but, he is kind of playing that physical role down there. He's obviously fighting a bit as well. He does have 96 penalty minutes, so that's obviously getting up there by quite a bit. But still, he's a solid all-around kind of player. Not putting up the best offensive numbers, but he still is only 21 years old, so it's not like he's a finished product. He can still get better offensively and in his overall game. Now, yes, at the NHL level, if he does stick there for, a long time, he's probably going to be, like I said, more of a kind of 4th-line guy putting up, 20, 30 points per season, maybe get 35 points again in one season here or there, but I can't really see him getting much more than that, even if he does play a full season, but still, he can be a decent kind of 4th-line guy, playing a solid role here for the Rangers, having a decent NHL career, even though he is not the best offensive player. Next up here, taking a look at what Matt Rempe did with the Hartford Wolfpack last season. He had, in his first year of pro hockey, 53 games played, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points, 87 penalty minutes. So obviously not really great numbers offensively. Still was, being that tough player out there, scrapping a bit, but not putting up the best offensive numbers. But then this year, in 10 less games played, he has 2 more points. So at least he has taken a bit of a step up in his offensive production. Still not a great jump up or, amazing numbers this year, having, 12 points in 43 games played, but at least it is a step up from last year. He has clearly improved. 10 less games played, 2 more points. He's also got 2 points in 5 games played at the NHL level. So he is, starting to get a little better offensively from last year, at least. So there was a step up there in that category, which is nice to see. And, taking a look back even further, though, back into his junior days, his last year in junior, back in 2021, 2022, as an assistant captain there with the Seattle Thunderbirds, he had 56 games played, 17 goals, 6 assists, 23 points, 93 penalty minutes. In the playoffs, though, did have 24 games played, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 points. So he has been a guy, at least in junior level, at least, was a pretty decent kind of goal scorer. Putting up 17 goals in 56 games played is not too bad at all. 23 points. It's not the best overall numbers, but still not too terrible for a guy who obviously is more of a kind of tougher player out there on the ice. And taking a look, though, at way back when in his first year of WHL back in 1920, because 2020, 2021 was the COVID season. We only had 8 games played, 5 points there. Way back in 1920, his first year in the WHL, he did have 47 games played, 12 goals, 19 assists, 31 points. So in his first year at the WHL level, he did put up some pretty good kind of offensive numbers. So there is reason to think that he does have some pretty decent kind of offensive skill now. Obviously, like I said, it's not going to be some, top 6 forward, but playing for a long time on the 4th line or, here and there, bump up to the 3rd line kind of thing, I definitely think is a realistic kind of possibility for Matt Rempe's career here. Now, I don't think he's going to be an elite player, but I definitely do think he can be a very solid player for a very long time at the NHL level. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please smash the like button. Don't forget to comment down below your guys' thoughts on Matt Rempe and kind of his impact so far at the NHL level. And what do you think going forward he can do with the New York Rangers and the Hartford Wolfpack as well? Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. See you later.